Hey, welcome back to the Soul Pod. This is Stacy. This video is for anyone who's ever had the thought, what's the point of all this? What's the point of it? The great author Khalil Gibran wrote, "Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls. The most massive characters are seared with scars." Imagine some of the greatest people you ever met, greatest people you ever read about. The stuff they went through to get there is probably why they are so amazing. None of us are born amazing. We have to go through it to get there, right? You ever notice you get better with practice? Like whether you're doing reps or maybe you're practicing for a marathon or a bike race, or maybe you're just getting better at using a word processing program, or maybe you're learning how to paint. No matter what it is, the more you do something, usually the better you get at it because it's reps. It's just practice, 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 practice. So it shouldn't be surprising that the same is true with trauma. Trauma is no different. You know, the difference between trauma and these other things, you go through trauma and you get stronger. You lift weights, you get stronger. The difference is that trauma is horrible, horrible, right? It is much worse than going, oh, I got to go to the gym and lift some weights, right? Because it's shocking. It's a shock to your system. And there's all levels of trauma. I mean, there's no one flavor of trauma. There are countless flavors of trauma. But it's a trap if you let it keep you there, if you don't go through it. And there's no going around it. It's only in going through it that you get stronger. But the thing is, that's the guarantee. If you go through it, you get the reward. If you don't, you get the punishment. There is no middle ground. So today I want to talk about trauma and how trauma can be transformational, but only if you go through it, if you lean into it, if you process it, if you do the reps. See, trauma, when it happens, it changes our worldview. It forces us to think about things, the big questions, like meaning, purpose, identity, what we thought we believed as being true. That's why it's so jarring. It may not be that it's the thing that itself, you know, whatever it was happened. So you get in a very bad car wreck and you miss dying by that much. It's jarring. You're still alive though, aren't you? Still walking. By some great grace, you're still here. But it's easy to get stuck in that, oh my God, I could die in a moment. I could have just died, but you didn't, right? You're still here. Whatever happened, happened. I'm not making light of it, but you have to put it in the context of it happened, but I'm still here. Now what? That's the key. It changes our worldview, though. It shifts everything. It changes the way we look at life, the way we answer the questions of meaning and purpose for ourselves. It can sometimes be incredibly transformational. Incredibly transformational. So it's not a quiet call that's coming in. It's a very loud call. And it's calling you to your meaning. It's calling you to your purpose. And it can be jarring. The great author Leo Tolstoy, who wrote War and Peace and Anna Karenina, he was at the height of his fame, just killing it, crushing it. And he was, I think, late 40s. And he had this moment where something shifted. And I'm not quite sure what the catalyst for it was, but he went into a deep despair that lasted for most of a decade. He wrote about it extensively. But when he was done, he stopped writing the stuff he was writing, which were great stories that were novels, and he started writing deeper stuff. Later on, he called it his moment of spiritual awakening. It was his spiritual awakening. And his later writing is just amazing. It's not as famous, but this is how amazing it was. The ripple effects from his later writing. Uh, he wrote a book called The Kingdom of God is Within You, and it was read by this guy named Gandhi. Gandhi, when he was in his 20s, read this book, and Gandhi later wrote about it in his own autobiography. He said that it was so incredibly transformational to read this. He said that the book overwhelmed him, particularly Tolstoy's emphasis on non-resistance to evil and universal love. That affected the way Gandhi did what Gandhi did, when he helped free his country from the grip of the British Empire. Nonviolent resistance. And that was all from Tolstoy's Breakdown, his 10 years of anguish that he wrote about in his book, that Gandhi read, and it influenced him. And it changed the world. One person's personal collapse can have ripple effects they'll never know. Tolstoy didn't know that this happened. He was gone before it all came down. But it had this massive effect. It freed a country. The words of a man's personal breakdown, his spiritual awakening moment, had ripple effects that helped free a country. Think about that. You will never know what your personal breakdown accomplishes long after you're gone, because ripple effects are ripple effects. Now, we're not Tolstoy, we're not Gandhi, but who cares? Who knows? Who knows who may read your words, who may see your video, who may talk to you at some point and be touched by your story? You don't know. And that's not why you do it, just a possible outcome. The reason you do it is because you owe it to yourself to go ahead and lean into it. You can't stay in the trauma. You can't. If you're listening to this and you're thinking to yourself, I can't go open that wound again, I love you. I see you. It's okay. If you don't, it won't get better. You got to go peel that Band-Aid off. You got to scrub that wound out. It's like an infected wound. The longer it sits, the worse it gets. It's never going away. Just peel it off. Clean under there. Just do the work. And when you do, you know what happens when you do that with a wound? You end up with this scar tissue over it. And that scar tissue can handle a lot more pressure. It's a lot stronger, isn't it? It's the same thing with us in here. But it's not just about the strength. It's about the resilience you gain from that kind of rep, that kind of effort, that kind of workout. That's what you get. You get this beautiful gift in the end. And you never know the ripple effects you might have. Just someone down the road may get a benefit from it. Do you feel like life's kicking your ass? Do you? Right now, if you feel like life's kicking your ass, call a therapist. If you're really bad off, call someone and talk to them about it, right? Don't let it get worse. But talk to a therapist. Now, if you've started this process and you're ready to figure out these big questions of meaning and purpose, find a good coach. Use a link below and make an appointment with me, a free 30-minute discovery call, and we'll determine if we're a good fit. If we are, I'll work with you and help you discover what meaning and purpose looks like for you. But don't wait. Don't wait. This doesn't expire. This opportunity doesn't expire, but we get really good at hiding it from ourselves. It's like, dirty socks in a bedroom or something. If you hide them enough times, eventually you'll forget where you hid them from yourself. Doesn't mean they're not there. Doesn't mean they don't need to be washed, but you're getting better at ignoring it, right? The problem's still there. It never goes away. But the opportunity is always there to say, hey, you know what? We're going to deal with this. We're going to figure out how to make this better. This better. This better. You can do it. Thanks for being here. See you on the next video.